Ho ho ho!
Greetings, groany peeps, and good tidings to one and all. Welcome along to this 60th episode of the Groan Zone, and once again, some parts will be Christmassy and others will not be. Your games this week are Festive, Yes or BS, and the 5-point countdown, as well as all your usual suspects you get in most other episodes. But once again, we've got Christmas music in the background, but only a few of them are. Went all out this week with some classics though. Sorry, but my groans this week aren't really Christmassy, but they've each impacted on my life this week. Getting a taxi. I don't know what it is, but when you're in a hurry, you cannot seem to get a taxi booked. Yet when you aren't in a hurry, yet need one, you can get one anytime you like. Anyone else find that odd? This is at the company's fault, not the driver's fault, by the way. Cheese. What is this obsession people have with cheese? I had this pasta a while ago with pesto and pine nuts in, and there was no cheese in it. I bought the very same thing the other day, and they'd added 3 kinds of cheese. Not everyone likes or can handle cheese, much like myself. I'm not lactose intolerant, I just hate cheese. Please, store owners, realise that every smegger in the world doesn't like cheese. Online gaming. So all games being online with no physical CDs, etc, etc. Good, right? No, not good at all. Because when the servers go down, I'm looking at you, EA, you cannot play your games you spend your good money on. Or they don't support a game anymore and you can no longer play it. With a CD, this wouldn't be a problem. So stupid. Well then, that's another set of groans unleashed for yet another week. Next week, I'll try and make them a little bit more festive. And not to worry, groaners, I won't be groaning about Christmas. I'm not that much of a groaner. But Nicole has been busy yet again this week, not just with writing the weekly story, but has also found yet more Christmas facts. This week's revolve all around traditions of countries at Christmas. Fact number 1 comes in from Poland. It's common to wonder what your pet is thinking, and what they would tell you if they could speak. In Poland, there's a festive myth where this becomes a reality. It is believed that during the festive dinner, or Christmas Eve dinner, because that's their big day in Poland, animals are given the gift of speaking for the night. According to legend, this is thanks to the animals who helped the baby Jesus during his birth. Polish children will often try to get a word in with their very confused dogs and cats this Christmas Eve. That sounds strange to me, but then again, I'm not from Poland. More facts to come later, but now we have our first game. It is Yes or BS, Christmas edition number 3. Yep, it's that time again, dear groaners. We have dug up more Christmas BS, or have we? You decide. What is fact? What is BS? Avoid the BS to score your points. You really don't want to get the BS, or your entire score goes bye-bye. Now, onwards with round number 1, the Lee, Illinois Trees round. Option A. Illinois has the longest running Santa Claus parade. Option B. Brenda Lee was 16 years old when she recorded Rocking Around the Christmas Tree in 1958. Option C. Artificial Christmas trees were once made out of dyed turkey feathers. Round 2. I'm getting ahead of myself, groaners. I'll give you a chance to answer first. Sorry. Before I said round 2, just pause there. Anyone listening after this has been recorded and give in your answers. Oh, a whole slew of answers just came in there. Everyone's gone in for C. Anybody else got any other options? We've had just 1 A come in there and 1 B. Any more? No one else typing? Nah, that's it. Okay, Now, Mr. E, you can move on to round number 2. Round number 2. The smallest Brazil breakups round. Option A. Brazil holds the record for the largest floating Christmas tree. Option B. The world's smallest Christmas card is equal to the size of a penny. Option C. Christmas Day boasts the lowest number of relationship breakups. Go Groaners. Give me your answers. Wow. Okay. Everyone's doing... I don't know if anyone's just looked at the answers or what, but they've gone in for A straight away this week. Okay. I hear you loud and clear, Groaners. Are there any more answers? Nope. Everyone's gone in for A. If you're playing along after it's recorded, here's where you pause and you get your turn. You done? Okay, now you can unpause me. Round 3. The used Disney snowflake round. Option A. The largest snowflake ornament ever was over 15 feet tall. Option B. Decorating Disney World involves 11.5 million Christmas lights. And option C. Zoos in Germany accept used Christmas trees for elephants to eat. Go Groaners. Answers, gimme. Pause now, hoy your answer in, unpause me afterwards. Oh, we've had people going for B, A and C. From having people going in for single answers, we've now got a spread across the board. Any more? Nope. Okay. We'll have more games later, and to find out if you scored points, the yes or B answers. I'll start that again, Groaners. I'm going to leave this in. Just brilliant, fabulous. We'll have more games later, Groaners, and to find out if you scored points, the yes or BS answers will be coming later too. From Groans to Games, we now move over to this week's Oh Unlucky. But this one is pretty serious, and full credit goes to BBC Scotland. Doctors have issued a warning after a man tore a hole in his throat while trying to stop a sneeze. The patient, who was in his 30s, was taken to Ninewells Hospital in Dundee. He was in severe pain after he pinched his nose and closed his mouth to stifle the sneeze. Scans revealed he had suffered a 2mm tear in his windpipe. When doctors examined the patient, they heard a cracking sound after touching his neck and found he did not have control of his movement. The unnamed man, who was driving at the time of the sneeze, also had a history of allergies and throat irritation. He didn't need surgical treatment and was kept in hospital for overnight observation. He was discharged and given medication to help his recovery. Doctors also advised him to avoid strenuous physical activity for 2 weeks. 5 weeks later, a scan showed that the tear had fully healed. A little fact for you here, Groaners, nothing in relation to Nicole's facts. A sudden throat tear, known medically as a spontaneous tracheal perforation, is rare, but it can potentially be life-threatening. My God. I'm never gonna hold in a sneeze ever again. I'm just gonna let them fly, maybe into my elbow or whatever, but I'm not stifling the sneezes. I don't want my head to explode. I don't want to break my neck, which I've also heard of when you stifle a sneeze, and I definitely don't want to tear my windpipe. I'm really glad he made a recovery though. But changing it up now, we give Admin Nicole the floor again for it's time for Creepy Corner. This week's story is called The Problem with Experiments. Valencia stared down the old man before she just sighed. She recognised the alligator the old man talked about. It was hard not to, since it was locked in a cage in the back of the shop with chains around it. It always felt so angry whenever she walked past it. A part of her wanted to ask why, but another part of her knew better than that by now. The Tooth Fairy, however, just laughed at the old man like she knew this was the kind of thing he did. I thought we agreed to stop experimenting on things, she asked. It was 10 years ago, and it was very rare for an object to bond that well to its host, the old man replied. A certain kind of darkness inhabits every item in the shop. Each one is the same and yet so very different. That's why it's so important to find the right host for each item. It's the only way to grant a wish. The right form of light and dark mixed together to grant a wish. Valencia had to question what the old man meant by the light. Simply put, granting a wish means he takes a small part of their soul. Not enough to make a difference to them, but enough to grant the wish and some left over for the old man. You never told me we were taking souls from people, Valencia yelled. It never came up. Anyway, we get through a lot here, and the tooth fairy here is a hypocrite, the old man replied. As he stood up and grabbed his coat, he began to explain how it was him who had to explain to the mayor that teenagers were throwing parties in the woods most nights. In reality, the tooth fairy got bored of one of their experiments and threw it in the woods. A stereo she infused with the tooth of a musician who refused to play classical music for viola. It preferred rock. This was a problem with not having control over teeth. They act based on the memories and personalities of the person they were once a part of. The wolves took a liking to the stereo, and it's them causing chaos every night, not teenagers. After that, he pointed out to a box of glowing jars and told Valencia to give them to Coco when she comes. He often disappeared from time to time. As the two stood alone in the antique shop, Valencia realised she didn't even know much of anything about the tooth fairy. In fact, for a while now, she was getting sick of calling her the tooth fairy every time. So she asked for her name, and yet even when she did, it felt wrong somehow. The tooth fairy knew it was coming. After all, she did look like a child. The tooth fairy smiled a rather sad smile. He already explained to you that when we would stop aging, it's different for everyone. I stopped aging instantly. I've been 10 years old for the last 35 years, just like you. I had no choice in becoming the next tooth fairy. My house burnt to the ground with my parents' and my mother's dying wish was that I survive. That's how the last tooth fairy found me. My body was mostly burned. It's probably why I stopped aging instantly. Must have taken a lot to heal me. I accepted for her. My name is Viola. I haven't used it in so many years, she replied. Valencia couldn't stop her tears from falling as she grabbed Clara towards her for a hug. Nicole, don't you mean Viola? As the two girls began to cry in each other's arms, someone burst through the door, but it wasn't the old man. What have you done this time? I can deal with the wolves and that stereo, but why are there zombies outside? I came all this way from the forest to get my souls, and you just can't control yourselves, can you? Zombies with perfect teeth and jelly for brains of all things? Do I even want to know? The girl yelled. It was only for a brief moment, so very brief that only Viola felt it, but the shop started to shake. Was there something wrong with it? Did they finally go overboard in their chaos? She knew they had to be careful. Coco heard out first, but Viola had a new lesson for Valencia. One of many truths behind the tooth fairy. As I've said before, this world admin Nicole creates is simply amazing, and I'm so glad I can show her creativity via this show. And yes, I tried 3 times to read this story because I kept messing up. It may be left in, it may not be, but just know I couldn't read for some reason. Bless me. Oh, speaking of Nicole as well, right then, another fact just landed right in front of us. Fact number 2. This one is about China, and it's Santa's sisters. If you're in China for Christmas, you might be surprised to see no sign of the little green elves helping Father Christmas, like we're all accustomed to. Santa is known as Shengdan Laren, and his helpers are called sisters. This means that Father Christmas, dressed up in shopping centres, will have costumed women by their side and not pointy-eared elves. The sisters often wear red and white and follow him around as elves would. Interesting there. And of course, we all know that the shopping centre Santas all give the list they have from the children to the real Santa Claus. But from that fact, we move on to our next game, which of course is the 5-point countdown. We begin at clue number 5 worth 5 points. I don't always come during winter, and I fall in different shapes. That clue again. I don't always come during winter, and I fall in different shapes. This is where you pause me if you listen along after it's recording, Have a think, drop your answer. Groaners, give me your answers. Okay, someone's put in snow straight away. Good answer. Any more? Someone's put in boulders. Okay, I see what you're going for there, but that's not as good as Nicole's rocks. Sorry, Groaner. Stop trying to get on board Nicole's fame. No, that's her answer. Okay, no more. Clue number 4. I am associated with the cold. Clue one more time. Clue number 4 with 4 points. I am associated with the cold. Someone's wrote in tissues. If you're thinking about your answer there, Groaner, and you look at clue number 5, tissues don't fall from the sky. Just to help you out there. Any more? Nope. Okay. Clue number 3. You can build or make things out of me. That clue again. Clue number 3 with 3 points. You can build or make things out of me. Someone's put ice. Good answer. Really good answer. Any more? Nope. Okay. Clue number 2 with 2 points. I can blind you and can be walked on with difficulty. Someone has again wrote ice. Okay, I can see where you're going with that. You want a clue again? Okay. Clue number 2, I can blind you and can be walked on with difficulty. They've wrote ice again. Okay, Groaner, I heard you the first time when you wrote it. Yeah, I'm going to put it up 3 times, it's fine. I got your answer for clue number 2. Okay. And 3. Last one, clue number 1 with 1 point. I have boots and snows. Clue number 1 with 1 point. I have boots and shoes named after me, and most kids love me when they see me. That clue one more time. Clue number 1. I have boots and shoes named after me, and most kids love me when they see me. Someone's wrote Nike. Okay, in relation to all the other clues, you wrote Nike, or Nike as some people say. Okay. Okay. Maybe from the back of a lorry, but not from the sky. Okay. Thanks, Groaner, for your contribution. Thank you. Remember, Groaners, if you change your mind from a right to a wrong answer, you don't get the points for the right answer if you had it right. And on that note, that's the 5-point countdown over for this week. We've had our games, and the answers will come before the end of the show, but I hear the audience want their turn to groan since I had mine. Yes, Groaners, it is time for you to have your moment with the audience groan. This one comes in verbally from Gareth B of Gateshead in the northeast of England. And it is, when I get a drunk taxi customer on Christmas Eve and I am constantly worrying that they're gonna upchuck in my taxi. Ugh! I can think of nothing worse than the smell of puke at Christmas. Lovely. Thanks, Gareth. But just because Gareth groaned in verbally, you don't have to. But you can send in your groans, your feedback, your suggestions, and your unlucky stories, or your hero or zero of the week nominations to the following: thegroanzonepod@gmail.com. You can find us on Discord at the Groan Zone Discord channel. You can come along to Facebook groups and drop us a line at the Groan Zone Facebook group. And lastly, you can find yours truly, your lovely host, Mr. E. Groaner on Facebook Messenger under Mr. E. Groaner. That's Mr. with an E on the end of Mr. Ooh, what's that? Admin Nicole has just slung the last Christmas fact of the week at me. This one rolls in, no pun intended when you hear it, from Venezuela. For some, Christmas Eve means going out to the pub with friends and family. To others, a cozy night in with a hot chocolate and a festive film. However, to those in Venezuela, it is an amazingly fun night of roller skating. On Christmas Eve, residents of Venezuela's capital city, Caracas, will be seen travelling to Christmas Mass on roller skates. If that was allowed here and you could roller skate to church, I might just go, but I don't. Skating is such a popular tradition that the streets are closed to cars, allowing skaters to travel safely and enjoy this fun Christmas activity. Venezuela, keep doing you. That is amazing. But thanks for that, Nicole. Thanks for all your facts this week. And as we come to this point of the show, I must point out how wrong this is for this week's Zero of the Week. And I've been dreading putting this up, but as soon as I'd written it down, I was committed. If you've done this, or thought about doing it, and no, it isn't murder, that's still wrong, seek help urgently. I'm not going to name the guy or where it happened, but this guy was arrested for, in heavily marked here, interfering with cows. If that doesn't sum up to some why this guy is this week's Zero and most likely this year's Zero, then I don't know what will. Yuck! And now on that lovely note, let's move on to the game answers, Groaners. Yes or BS first. Round 1, the Lee, Illinois Trees round. If you went for option A, Illinois has the longest running Santa Claus parade, you're right. It has run since its first one way back in 1888. That is well over 100 years of Christmas fun. If you went for option B, Brenda Lee was 16 years old when she recorded Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, classic tune, in 1958. You're actually wrong. She was really 13. If you went for option C, artificial Christmas trees were once made out of dyed turkey feathers, that's false. In around 1865, they were made out of goose feathers that were dyed green. Round 2, the smallest Brazil breakups round. If you picked option A, Brazil holds the record for the largest floating Christmas tree, you're right. It stood at 278 foot tall, sorry, that's 278 feet and 10 inches tall in 2007. That is a big tree. Option B. If you went for this one, the world's smallest Christmas card is equal to the size of a penny. False. Although a penny is still small, in 2010, nanotechnologists at the University of Glasgow created a teeny tiny Christmas card that could fit onto the surface of a regular sized Christmas card around 500,000 times. I don't know how you'd even begin to write out that Christmas card. Option C. If you went for this one, Christmas Day hosts the lowest number of relationship breakups. This is 100% true. A 2010 study conducted by Facebook found that December 25th had the fewest number of breakups. However, in the weeks leading up to Christmas, that is completely different entirely. It seems in those weeks, people don't want to buy somebody a present. Cheapskates. But if you have a significant other, hold on to them tight this Christmas. Last round, round 3, the Use Disney Snowflake round. That sounds like an insult. If you went for option A, the largest snowflake ornament ever was over 15 foot tall. False. According to the Guinness World Records, the largest Christmas snowflake ornament ever was created by Universal Studios Japan in October 2019, and it stood at a whopping 10 foot and 5 inches tall. I don't know why anybody would want a snowflake that big, unless you're a giant. Option B, if you went for this one, decorating Disney World involves 11.5 million Christmas lights. That's false. While still a hell of a number, Disney World is lit up at Christmas with 8.5 million decorative Christmas lights. Last one, round C? My god. Last one, option C. Zoos in Germany accept used Christmas trees for elephants to eat. This is true. each elephant gets 5 or 6 trees, and the oils in evergreen trees are good for the animal's digestion, whilst the bark helps clean their teeth. Hopefully, Groaners, none of you got blanked out there. I guarantee some of you probably did. But now we're going to move on to the 5-point countdown answers. And yep, a few people in the audience and admin Nicole got it right with snow. That is 5 points there for the audience playing along live. Well done. Those who wrote Nike or ice, I don't know what the person who wrote Nike was thinking, but the person who wrote ice, you were close, but no cigar. And now, Groaners, that brings us to the end of another show for this week. Next week, the show will be out in time for Christmas. And just to say, here at Groan Zone HQ, we're going to say it again next week. We wish you all the best for the festive season, and we will see you next week. Take care, Groaners. Bye-bye.